Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hello and welcome to the Monday Postcast. This week in our brand new studio, I've only got Nick Watts with me, but we also have Brendan Duke on the line and Paul Binfield from Paddy Power as well. Welcome, gents. Thanks for joining us. This Postcast, we've got so much to cram in. First, we're going to talk about the Open meeting at Cheltenham this weekend, all 3 days of glorious jumps action. And then we've got the top action at Punchestown as well. We'll get some selections for that. The Morgiana Hurdle, of course, on Sunday. We're going to take a look back as well at the impressive wins of Might Bite, you know what I mean, Harry, and Apple's Jade that we've seen lately. Lots to get through. And, of course, there's your chance to win the free £25 or €25 bet from Paddy Power as well. Right, welcome one and all. This has been a delayed start to our postcast, so we've got to crack on and get on with it. First off, Cheltenham on Friday, and the feature is the Grade 2 Ballymore Novices Hurdle. Binners, kick us off with some prices for this. It looks a great race.
Hello, listeners. Yes, Vision Day Flow 5-2 favourite. Mella 9-2 on the blind side. 5 Colette Mad for the Naunton Farmer. Nigel Twiston Davis, and it's 6 bar.
Yeah, I know with Colette Mad they're taking a similar route to the one they took with Holstone last year. Watsy, we'll go to you for your selection first. This looks a pretty good race to get your teeth stuck into, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's the right market leader. Vision de Flow is quite interesting. It was third at Shepstow last time, but on Poetic Rhythm. It's £5 better off this time with Fergal O'Brien's horse. And he looked then as though, you know, the run would do him a lot of good, so I'd expect more from him second time. Tizard's got a couple in there, and Vision de Flow's got an entry on Sunday, so whether it's the intended target is hard to say at the moment, but if he takes his place in the lineup, yeah, he'd be the one that I would side with.
Yeah, he's the Land Rover bumper winner, and I think very much comments were that after his run at Chepstow in the Persian War that he definitely wasn't teed up as much as they would have perhaps thought for that. Brendan, hello, and who's your selection for this one?
Hello, Maddie. I would lean towards another Tizard horse, that White Moon. I see up the boy Cobden, so that's got to be a good thing. I was very impressed when we Canton. I'm not sure what he beat now, but he travelled really well. When he did come off the bride, he did plenty. So at this early stage, he select.
Yeah, I really liked him as well. He was a big eye catcher, wasn't he, when he ran at Wincanton? Binners, anything for you in this? Looking at the market?
No, you summed it up well with Colette Mad. That would be the one for me, Maddie, as you say, following the Holstein route. That horse was second to Peregrine Run last year, and hopefully Connections can go one better.
Yeah, it's interesting, this horse. He ran in the 4-miler, I think, last year, and now they're going back novice hurdling with him, but he's clearly absolutely thriving for it. Has anyone got any other fancies on the Friday? I'd definitely like a few in there. What's anything for you?
Well, I think it's worth pointing out the novice chase. If they take their chances, we got Finian's Oscar potentially against William Henry from Nicky Henderson's yard, which could be a really good matchup. Obviously, Finian's Oscar won first time up, a little bit sticky at some of the fences, but got around safely. It was job done. This will be another story completely, because William Henry is a horse I really like. He missed Cheltenham last year, I think, through a little injury, but finished second to Holstone in a Grade 2 before that. Goes well at the track. And loves good ground, which I think we'll probably get a bit of on Friday. So if his jumping can hold up first time up, then Finian's Oscar should be in for a race. I think that's one to really look forward to.
And of course we've got Thistlecrack's brother West Approach in there, move with the times as well. There's a whole host of horses that could run in that. We're yet to see what's going to turn up, but it should be potentially the race of the whole meeting. Who knows? Finian Oscar, one of the most exciting horses in training. Anything else for either of you? Brendan, did you have a look at anything else on Friday?
Novice chase, an absolute slobber knocker, and the prices at the moment are 11-8 Finian's and 3-1 William Henry. If they are the prices of the day, I'll certainly be backing William Henry.
Okay, Ben, is there anything to add on that? Well, what prices do you have it priced up this race at the moment?
We do actually, Maddie. Yeah, Finian's Oscar is 11-8 favourite. William Henry 3-1, 7-2 West Approach, 4 move with the times, 10 bar. I think West Approach can beat his stable companion. He gets £3 from him. He's already rated higher than him, £6 higher, and he did it very well at Postcast on his debut. I think he'll be good over fences.
Okay, and Jameson actually boosted that form at Foss last when he won at Sandown on Sunday. Right, we're going to move on to Saturday now, and of course we have the showpiece event, the Bet Victor Gold Cup, taking place. We've now got a bit more info regarding entries and binners. Just kick us off with your betting for the Bet Victor Gold Cup.
Yeah, used to have a better name this race, but anyway, 7-1 the Kyle Moore Lock, 8-1 the Prezian, 9 Tully East, 10 a number on 10 Foxtail Hill, Gold Present, Remainder St Am, and it's 12 bar, Maddie.
Okay, we might want to be going to you after some bigger priced horses. Let's hope someone's got some value in there to mention. What's he kick us off, the Bet Victor Gold Cup?
Well, I'm not sure they got the right favourite for a start. Kyle Moore Lock, I'll be surprised if he's that popular with many people at the weekend. I think they're banking on the fact that he's gone from Kerry Lees to Harry Fry. And that kind of angle, that factor, you know, has seen him go to the head of the market. I mean, the Prezian ran a solid race last time out. Whether he's better over 2.5, I'm not quite sure. And Paul Nicholls doesn't seem to be either. But he could run very well. And the one I like is the David Pipe horse, Star Architect. I thought he ran a good race in the spring at the festival behind Road to Respect in what was a good plate. He's off a £1 higher mark here, so pretty much identical to that. And I just think it was good that Pipe managed to get a run into him recently at Stratford, and it was a winning run as well. That had really sharpened him up there with that victory. So he comes here in form. Connections could have run Go Conquer as well. It's the Rooney family. They didn't. They're happy to go with Star Architect. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't run very well. He's got the experience now. He jumps fine. He's fit. He's in form. He ticks a lot of boxes for me, and you know I think he's a double-figure price, so he would be the one for me at this stage.
Okay, Star Architect for Nick Binners. Just remind us, what price are you, Star Architect?
12-1, Maddie.
12-1.
It's dangerous when me and Watsy agree, but I really like this horse as well. And a strongly run heat over 2.5 miles. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be perfect conditions for him. Brendan, what do we reckon? Are you in agreement with the other two? Please say no.
Unfortunately, I'll have to say yes, Maddie, because I looked at this race and I can see why it's 8-1 the field. I'd make it about 16-1 the field. It looks completely impossible to me, so I'll row in with the boys on Star Architect.
Okay, the exact same reasons or anything else to add?
No, for no reason, that I'm totally open to suggestion on it. I cannot find a well handicapped horse in the race.
Ah, okay. Okay, so Star Architect, the main one for you three. Obviously, David Pipe's shown he's brilliant in these sort of races, and as you say, Watsy, he's got a run into Star Architect's belt. Anything else on the Saturday? We've got some long distance chases. We've got the BetVictor.com handicap chase as well, and the Mayor's Bumper, which I'm a big fan of, if you know me at all. Any of the fancies on Saturday, Watsy?
Not real fancies, but that long distance handicap chase over 3-3, it could have a completely different complexion to it, depending on whether or not Minella Rocco takes part, because he's in there at the moment. I think his rating is 166, so if he did run under top weight, you'd keep a lot of others out of the handicap, and it'd be a completely different race as to that kind of a traditional event that you would see over that distance. This particular race. Is
that the one he ran in last year behind Vicomte de Noia? Was it a similar event? I'm not sure.
It might well have been. My memory doesn't stretch back that far. But I mean, if he didn't go, and it was a kind of your more traditional staying event, if you like, without kind of Gold Cup runners in there, then something like Doing Fine from Neil Mulholland didn't run badly on his reappearance. He'd be quite interesting, but it all depends if Minella Rocco takes part for me. Okay,
so Minella Rocco, the one to keep your eye on if he runs on Saturday. Brendan, anything you're ploughing into on the big day?
No, there wasn't anything. The whole day looked tricky to me, I'm afraid, Maddie.
Oh, okay, understandable. We don't want you telling us that you're really confident when you're not. Don't be misleading us. Binners, and any market moves or anything interesting that you found that you think perhaps punters could latch onto?
No, we haven't got that one priced yet, Maddie, but we do hope to soon. In the same long distance race, I'm looking forward to seeing Somerset Sorcerer Paul Nicholls, Scottish Grand National hero Vicente, another one of my big favourite horses.
Okay, and why is that? Do you think he could be right for this, or is the Scottish National going to be on his radar again, do you think?
Yeah, that could well be on his radar again, but I think these are the sort of races that he's going to be targeted at this year, and it's an ideal starting place. 3.5 miles, not quite as testing as a Scottish National, and we'll see him in some good races through the season, possibly that long distance handicap chase at the festival in March.
Yeah, and he's won. He's got good form at the track as well for Genty, I think. So that might be one to keep an eye on. Right now, moving on to Sunday. Of course, we've got the Greatwood Hurdle. We've got Defi Desoy, of course, who notched up an unprecedented string of wins, ending in the Triumph Hurdle, and then of course he went on to win at Aintree as well last season. Jenkins, a big talking horse, who off that mark an awful lot of people are going to be interested in, and then of course London Prize, who won the Elite Hurdle. He could well go to the Greatwood, and the new one, I think he's actually entered, which could make it really, really interesting. Of course, Binners, how do you bet for us?
Jenkins 5-1 favourite, Maddie. 6 Defi Desoy, 10-1 London Prize, who did so well at the weekend, along with Mohayed, and it's 12-1 Bar.
Okay, Nick, so I remember we were talking beforehand about Jenkins, and off this mark, he's really got to be winning something like this if he's as good as they thought, hasn't he?
Well, he kind of divides opinion a bit, I think, this horse, because he didn't kind of come up to scratch last season. But if you go back to his first run when he won at Newbury, the second, third and fourth that day, all really good horses. Pingshu was in fourth. Captain Forrest, who looks like he's going to be a very good horse, in third, unfortunately no longer with us. Bags Groove, who's probably running around about now at Kempton as we're talking, so we don't quite know how he's going to get on, but he did win first time out. So that form is really strong. Judging from his comments in today's stable tour, Nicky Henderson, you just think that he might have ironed out his problems a little bit, and if he has, then 137 could be a good mark. So I'd be inclined to go with him. I don't know what will Defi Desoy run. I thought this would be an unusual place to start off with for him. I thought he'd be more an international hurdle horse next month at Cheltenham. That would be the ideal starting point for him. I'll be interested to see how he goes if he does run, because obviously he's got champion hurdle aspirations. But Jenkins would be the one. I'm not certain that Defi Desoy will take part yet.
Well, they were planning to run him in that Masterson Holdings, that 4-year-old hurdle that so often the 3-year-olds graduate from and running. But I think the ground was the issue on that occasion, wasn't it? So you're right. Be interested to see if Defi Desoy runs. I'm sure it'd be a great attraction if he does. Brendan, anything for you in this Greatwood? There's got to be plenty of Irish representatives. Anything interesting you can tell us?
There will be plenty of Irish runners, it looks like, but it's just hard to get away from Defi. I mean, they've left him in now. I saw the clerk of the course said he won't be watering for the meeting, so I don't know if there's rain due at some stage over the weekend or what have you. But it was so exciting to see him run, wouldn't it? Yeah. And of 157, if you believe as I do, I know there's always the concerns about the difficult second album, what have you, but if you believe as I do that he's a massive runner in the champion hurdle, he just ruined these off 157 in a handicap. So if he runs, I'd take Nick's point. If he doesn't think he's going to run, I'll wait. But I'd be happy to take 7-2 on the day if he was definitely running, because I don't think they'd see which way he went.
Okay, well, like, he has got form with cutting the ground, but I think it was more they just didn't want to start him off in a real slog, wasn't it? I think that was the case. But of course, Defi Desoy, as you say, sometimes it's best to go with these class horses in the handicap. And like I say, I think they might be running the new one in this. Be really interesting if he goes. And Binners, finally, anything from you?
Big priced one, Maddie. Project Blue Book for John Quinn, a horse that was 6th in the Galway Hurdle, which was a very, very respectable effort in a tough race, especially for 4-year-olds. And I think the ground will be nice for him. Could be a neat way poke.
Okay, we're going to finish on Cheltenham for now, and we're going to go and look at Punchestown on Sunday after this short break.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes 2nd, 3rd or 4th to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, welcome back to the Monday Postcast. I'm joined by Nick Watts, Brendan Duke, and of course Paul Binfield from Paddy Power. Now we're going to talk about this Morgiana Hurdle. It's a Grade 1 showpiece event that happens at Punchestown on Sunday. Willie Mullins has won the last 6 runnings of this, would you believe, courtesy of Nichols Canyon and Hurricane Fly, of course. Now at the minute it's wide open. I mean, Forheen is due to make his return, which is hugely exciting. We've got the old champion hurdle winner Jeski, who returned to form recently, and Willie Mullins has a whole host in there. I think he has his mares in there, Vroom Vroom Mag and Let's Dance, and then Mellon as well. So it could well be a case of he's only going to run one of them and take all the rest out. But at this stage, it could be an absolute cracker. Binners, how do you bet on this one? Forheen presumably warm enough?
Yes, very warm, Maddie. 4-7 after 665 days off. Then we've got Jeski at 7-2, Campiador at 6-1, and it's 20-1 everything else.
Okay, so that may hint that they just might not be running Watsy. Do you think Forheen, this is at his mercy, or do you think he's going to have to be absolutely tip-top, as good as he always was, to win this?
Well, if you look at the entries, Mullins has got 9 of the 15, so he's got a good control of the race. And if Forheen is their chosen one, as Richie mentioned, he might have this on his agenda when speaking recently. Then, if he pulled out the other 8, what looks a fantastic race at the moment might be a battle of the OAPs between him and Jeski.
Bit harsh, that. Battle of the OAPs, champion hurdle winners.
Well, they are, if the race stood as it was at the moment, it'd be fascinating, because I think this would be a good spot for Mellon, because he's hoping to become a champion hurdle horse. I think he needs the experience, and he won at Down Royal recently, so I'd be interested to see him go, how he shapes up. There's all sorts of angles to it if we're looking at the race now, but I think it's going to come down to Forheen against Jeski and maybe 1 or 2 more. And that will be that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Forheen goes, because obviously he's had so long off the track. But would I be getting stuck in at 4 to 7 after such an absence? And he got beaten in the race, didn't he? By, was it Nichols Canyon a couple of seasons ago? No, I wouldn't. It'd be a watching brief. I can't really recommend anything else, because I don't think a lot else is going to run.
Okay, very sensible then, keeping the powder dry. Brendan, what about you? What are the vibes on this Forheen? Do you think he's definitely going to run? Is he back? Is he as good as he's always been? What can you tell us?
Well, I haven't heard any vibes. I mean, the fact that he's so short in the betting would suggest he is going to run. I can only tell you that I saw him on Irish St. Leger Day, so that was at the start of September, and they had a parade of champions. And he was the fattest horse in that parade of champions, and there were all sorts of horses. He looked grossly overweight to me. Now, interestingly, Mullins had said he'd got plenty of work into him, and he was looking at the Morgiana. So he is going to run in the Morgiana, it seems. So maybe my eyes deceive me, but he looked to be grossly overweight. He's had a couple of months to get ready, but I certainly wouldn't be backing him at 4 to 7 off that layoff. And I thought the Campeador could be the coming force. Quite a good comeback. Gordon Elliott absolutely flying. 6 to 1 looks pretty fair price to me.
So you'd be abandoning Jeski then. He's obviously had a run. He's fit. You can bank that he'll be ready for this. Do you think he wants further now, Jeski, or is he just, you don't think he's good enough?
Well, yes. Well, that would be the point. It's just more the prices. Would I have Campeador nearly twice the price of Jeski? No, it was just the price of Campeador sort of left off the page a little at me.
Okay, no, I like that, absolutely. We want something to take on Forheen with, if possible. Just remind us, Binners, what price Campeador, and would you be taking on this Forheen? What do you reckon?
Yeah, Campeador 6 to 1, Maddie. I certainly would be taking on Forheen at 4 to 7 after such a long time. I'm having a bit of difficulty hearing Brendan in his Dublin mansion, so I apologise if I repeat anything he's saying, but I think Jeski lost his way a bit last season. An easy success at Tipperary showed that he's back in business, and I think he can take Forheen on.
Okay, so a bit of a difference of opinion there. Nick's sort of leaving it alone. Brendan's going for Campeador, and Binners is going for Jeski. So, and Mellon may be the one for you if he does run. Who knows?
He won't, no. He won't.
No way. Willie Mullins knows what he's up to. Anything else that we're looking forward to this week or this weekend at all, Nick? I'll go back to you first off. Anywhere and anything, there's so much to
I think we've been all through it, Maddie. It's going to be a brilliant 3 days at Cheltenham. Very much looking forward to that. And yeah, we've discussed all the interesting things that I'm sure there's going to be more, but that'll do for starters for me. You
don't have a handicap hurdle at Stratford somewhere on your radar then? Nothing to give us on the low-key side. Brendan or Binners, quickly, anything for you this week or this weekend that you want to just notch up to us?
Very quickly, I'm going to Cheltenham this weekend, and I see the first race, an amateur handicap chase, Potter's Legend, something that Cliff Horse of mine has entered.
Don't you dare. Yes, Cliff Horse of mine as well. Go for it.
Right, well, yeah, so you know the reason, Matt. He's definitely well handicapped. He likes the track. If it wasn't for those pesky fences, but I'll almost certainly be backing him in the first at Cheltenham on Friday. Right,
well, Brendan, I'm there, and if you're there, if he wins, I think us two will be making the most noise on the track. Ben, is anything elsewhere for you?
Looking forward to the Grade 2 at Clonmel on Thursday, the Clonmel Oil Chase. Hopefully, Waterford Wizard Henry de Bromhead will unleash Champagne West, who won the Tie Easters last season, before having a tilt at the Cheltenham and Punchestown Gold Cup.
Okay, plenty of variety for us there. Now, quickly before the break, here's your chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet from Paddy Power. Simply tweet your answer to this question, using the hashtag Postcast. Who won last year's Bet Victor Gold Cup? Of course, we'll announce the winner on Friday's show, and the free bet will be credited to your account. The best of luck.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Okay, welcome back to the Monday Postcast. Now, I was stressing before the show that we've got such an excellent weekend to look forward to, but we've also had some really good racing that we've got to look back on now. The jump season is, of course, now starting in earnest, and we've had some pretty good performances. First off, I just want to ask everyone what they made of You Know What I Mean, Harry, his return at Aintree. I thought he was pretty impressive in the end, beating Top Notch and Value at Risk.
He was over 2.5. I was disappointed with Top Notch. He may have needed it a bit, but I thought over 2.5. I thought he might have the legs of You Know What I Mean, Harry, who's obviously a confirmed stayer. Yeah, I've got to hand it to him. You know, when he got beaten at Cheltenham, I thought, well, that might be the end of him. You know, bear in mind he's older than most horses. He's in that kind of genre. He's 9 going on 10. But he bounced straight back at Punchestown to beat Nichols Canyon, which was a hell of an effort. And, you know, there's life in him yet. And I'm not saying I'd back him for the Stayers Hurdle next year, but I certainly think he could win another long walk and maybe another cleave. And, you know, I've got to take my hat off to him and give him credit. He won it really nicely, and he's beaten younger horses who I thought, well, especially in Top Notch, might have a bit too much toe for him, but it turned out not to be the case at all. So fair play to him.
It's rare you get a horse like him who's progressed from basically nowhere, winning most handicaps, to then win the Albert Bartlett. And as you say, you know, he's unlucky not to perhaps win that World Hurdle last season. He made up for it at Punchestown. Brendan, what about you? Did you see You Know What I Mean at Aintree?
Yes, I did, and what a smashing horse he is. He obviously has loads of ability, but it's possible he has even more heart than ability. He had a soft ground, which he loves, of course, but it was an inadequate trip. It was run at a dawdle. Like Nick, I thought he was vulnerable, but he's just got the heart of a lion, and I think he's at the top of the betting for the Stayers Hurdle, or the World Hurdle, should I say. And well, he should be. He'll definitely run. The ground may not be ideal, but he's the kind of horse who could find a way to overcome.
Yeah, Binners, what price can we get for the Stayers Hurdle? You got any betting for us on that?
Yeah, You Know What I Mean, Harry was an 8-1 chance before Saturday, but he's now hardened into 6-1 joint favourite along with Nichols Canyon. Then it's 10-1 a few horses, Penn Hill, the World's End for the top owner Max McNeil, and also Faheen, 12-1 bar.
Okay, Faheen, of course, be interesting if he goes that route after winning on Sunday. I just want to throw this one out there. You know I'm a massive Thistlecrack fan, and I believe now the plan is to go to Newbury's long distance hurdle with You Know What I Mean, Harry. Would you be with him against Colin Tizard's returning star in that race if they both turned up?
Yeah, I mean, you have to see the prices, but bear in mind that You Know What I Mean, Harry has had a run. Thistlecrack is coming off the back of, you know, a slight injury at the end, you know, midway through last season. He's got his date to the King George, the return trip there, you know, to aim for. I'm sure they won't beat him up in a lost cause. So, you know, like I said a minute ago, You Know What I Mean, Harry keeps surprising me. I didn't think he'd come back and win at Punchestown. I didn't think he'd win at the weekend. So maybe I should continue writing him off and he'll carry on winning. So. Yeah, out of the two, I wouldn't be surprised if You Know What I Mean, Harry turned him over just on that particular day. I'm
going to be weeping in the corner at that news, but no, understandable, as you say. Now, we're going to touch on Wincanton, which I thought was, although it was very, very rainy and didn't look very pleasant at all, I thought it provided some excellent stories. Of course, Bryony Frost starring on Present Man, who now is going to run in the Grand National, I think. Binners, what price Present Man and the rest for the National at this stage?
Well, Present Man is around a 33-1 chance. Maddie, at the top end of the market, we have Black Lion at 16, then Cause of Causes, Minella Rocco, Native River, all 20, and it's 25-1 bar. But as you say, brilliant to see Bryony Frost produce such a brilliant ride for a female rider. It was a scintillating ride, and following on from her father in 1996, Jimmy winning on Coombe Hill. And don't forget the second, who made such a good race of it, Final Nudge for David Dennis.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Final Nudge would have needed that. As I said on Friday's show, he's the one I'm really looking forward. Bryony Frost, I think she was absolutely brilliant. She made me sort of proud to be a woman in racing afterwards. I think the way she conducted herself was absolutely brilliant. Anything else to add, Brendan, on Present Man? Would he be the one for you in the National this early stage?
Certainly not, Maddie. I wouldn't back him at 333 to 1. I agree with you. That was a fine performance, but I would just, if you go back to the last time he ran left-handed in Doncaster, he hasn't run since. He somehow won the race. I don't know, because he basically jumped off the track at every fence. He can't go left-handed.
Okay, so absolutely not for Brendan. What's he for you at all?
No, he wouldn't be, but I echo what you say about Bryony Frost. She's a breath of fresh air. She's riding some really good horses down at Nichols's, and it's obviously doing her confidence a lot of good. And it'd be great for the big race to have Bryony there, and maybe a few more lady jockeys as well. So let's hope at least he gets to the race.
Yeah, girl power, why not? Now we're going to move over to Doncaster. And Nick, as you tipped up Saunter on Monday's Postcast, we can start with you in the November handicap. He was pretty impressive in the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that it was just a great half hour for Ian Williams, and he's always been a really good trainer, but sometimes someone like him can just bubble under the surface and he just pops up every now and then and he reminds you of what a good trainer he is. But, both races on TV on Saturday, obviously had the hurdle winner at Wincanton as well. I think he's on the verge of really taking quite a major leap forward, because I think he can do it under either code. He's brilliant with the horses he picks up from other yards, and I think the clue was earlier in the week when he had Rashun and Saunter both entered in the race, and he just went with Saunter. Turned out to be the right one. And he's a trainer I really, really rate Ian Williams. He's just really good at what he does, and like I said, picking up horses from other stables. So, yeah, well done to him. If there's one to pick out for next season, Royal Line, I don't know if he went off favourite in the end or not, but John Gosden's horse, lightly raced. This might have been just one run too many for him. He's packed a lot into a short space of time. If they keep on racing with him as next season, he's fantastically bred horse. He could, I'm not quite sure what handicap mark he's on at the moment, but he could make a mockery of it and win one of these big ones next season, I'm sure.
As you say, he's very unexposed and running in those famous maroon silks as well, so it'd be nice to see him stick around. Anything catch your eye from the November handicap, Brendan, or were you more geared towards the jumps action like me?
No, I watched it. It seemed to be a race that it was important to be on the pace in. But I haven't managed to review it to see if there was anything that was maybe Top Tug. He was held up out the back and came with a really good run before it petered out. Now, he has done that before, but I think if he gets one of these middle distance to stay in handicaps run at a really good clip, he could be a factor in one maybe.
Okay, Binners, did you get any prices for Saunter for anything, or any big reaction to that? What were your thoughts on the November handicap?
No real reaction anti-post, Maddie, but I would say Wincanton was a bridge too far for me on Saturday, but Jim Crowley came over from Abu Dhabi, 4,567 miles after winning their big race on the Friday and scooped the November handicap, so well done to Big Jim.
Yeah, indeed, Jim, always absolutely amazing talent in the saddle, and of course, maybe that was the clue. Maybe we all should have followed Binners in with Saunter. Right, quick now reaction to Sunday's action. I was at Sandown yesterday, and obviously Mike Bite made his return in that intermediate chase. Very, very impressive. Jumped smoothly and stretched away, as he should have done, really. Just a quick reaction, Binners, for the King George and the Gold Cup. What price is Mike Bite for those now?
Well, you've got 11-4 favourite for the King George, Maddie. He was 7-2 unchanged after the race, but that hasn't held now. And for the Cheltenham Gold Cup, he's unchanged at 8-1. But when Nicky Henderson makes statements like he just could be very, very good, and his jumping was extraordinarily good, I think you have to take note.
Okay, Brendan, were you surprised that price went for the King George after? I mean, I think, as I mentioned before, he was recording a time much better than Thistlecracks when he was unlucky and he fell at the last year. Are you beyond Mike Bite's team or looking elsewhere?
No, he's going to win everything this year, isn't he? He's a super freak. And,
you think so?
I don't play. Absolutely. I mean, this horse is just he's one of these horses like Denman, who's just comfortable going at speeds that he takes horses out of their comfort zone, basically. and it will take a horse who's maybe a Thistlecrack who's a really strong traveller to be able to even keep in touch with him. And now, what we saw, another reason I think they were entitled to put him, what we saw on Sunday was that, like all great performers, be it Laurence Olivier or Steven Seagal or someone, he has great dramatic range. He doesn't have to go out and bludgeon them to death. He can be held up off a pace if necessary. So his jumping was great. He relaxed beautifully. He seems to be growing up mentally. He's just such an exciting horse. He's going to win everything.
Do you know what I was really surprised at? And that's how relaxed he was. He didn't pull at all. He was very, very relaxed. Would you be worried, bearing in mind what happened in the RSA last year, at Cheltenham this year, you know, say he's 10 lengths clear coming to the last, absolutely hacking up. How fast is your heart rate going to be going at that point? Do you think he's going to go for a wonder in front of the Princess Royal stand or what?
You would obviously have a slight concern. I understand that. But I think from what we've seen, the progression through, and the only everything was perfect at Cheltenham until the last. Then there wasn't a bother on him in Aintree. He's come back there. There wasn't a bother on him again. It really does look like he's learning, doesn't it?
Mm. Yeah, it does. So I mean, what I would say is he did do it at Cheltenham before as well. That wasn't the first time he'd done it. But as you say, he seems to be growing up mentally more than anything else. So perhaps minimalise those worries.
I think so. I hope so, anyway.
Yeah, okay. So Mike Bite to win everything. What's the quick reaction from you?
Yeah, Mike Bite to win everything. I think this quirkiness thing is quite a lot overplayed, actually.
Yeah, but you look at what he did. I mean, he was how far clear at
I think when he went off the pace he did, and you're on your own for so long, you're entitled to idle a little bit. You do see quite a few horses edge over towards that stand side at Cheltenham if they're a bit tired. But you know, as soon as another horse came with him, Whisper in this case, he was straight as a gun barrel to get back up and win. I saw him win at Aintree, where you could have excused him for jacking it in because he was on the back of a hard race at Cheltenham, did no such thing. Again, he ran straight and true, had Whisper harrying him all the way round, didn't bother him at all. And it's almost, you get the feeling some people are watching him now racing, thinking that he's going to do something. And of course, he didn't at Sandown. He just run straight to the line. He'll do the same at Kempton. Yeah, I think it's massively overplayed, the quirkiness thing. I think he's fine. He's very exciting, as Brendan says, and I think he'll win the King George. Perhaps,
but it might be worth bearing in mind at Sandown and at Kempton, the stables, the exit to the stables is actually past the post where they come out, so perhaps minimise the chances of him doing anything silly with that. Right, we're going to move on to Apple's Jade now, because we've already clarified Mike Bite wins absolutely everything. She beat Jer's Girl, of course, at Navan. What are our hopes for her this season? That mare's hurdle at the festival last year, I mean, it gets a lot of stick, but that was one of the races of the season, I think. And I don't know if Brendan will be able to correct me on this, but I think they're going to try and go that way again this year. Are they, Brendan?
It unfortunately does look that way, Maddie, and certainly last year with Death Duty, Gordon Elliott was a man of his word. Early season, he said he was going for the Albert Bartlett, and he went for the Albert Bartlett, and he said in his interview afterwards that he believes in winning the races you can win. The only hope is that Michael O'Leary does what he did with Don Poley and says, I've no interest in winning a pointless mare's hurdle again, and she should go for the Stayers hurdle. But O'Leary doesn't seem to have any interest in hurdles, so it looks long odds on like she's going for repeating the mare's hurdle.
A lot of people think she would have a really good chance in that Stayers hurdle, especially as she's shown her stamina to be her strong suit. Are you in that camp? Do you think what price bidders can we get for the mare's hurdle and the world hurdle, the Stayers? Sorry.
Well, for the Stayers, she's 14 to 1, Maddie, and for the mare's hurdle, she was 3 to 1 before yesterday's taking performance. And she's now 5 to 2 favourite.
She tends to just be a better horse in the springtime as well, so that could well play into her hands as well. What's the quick reaction to Apple's Jade?
Well, the thing is, in the olden days, I would have agreed with Brendan and said, you know, stick her in the Stayers hurdle and let her take on the boys. But I've kind of had a rethink on it, and the only way these mares hurdles at Cheltenham are going to be more interesting and more, you know, you can have a bet in them is by the best mares taking each other on. So if Apple's Jade does stay in the mares division with Vroom Vroom Mag, with Let's Dance and those other ones,
at least it builds up.
It builds up the mares division, which, you know, I got bored with Q Vega just turning up and winning every year, as grand as she was. But to have a bit of competition in those mares races, surely that's what we want. So Yeah, it's a shame she's not taking on the boys, but if it builds up these mares races to be more interesting than they sometimes are, then for me now that's a good thing. And you know, if Vroom Vroom and Apples and Let's Dance and whoever else take each other on, then at least we've got a more interesting race.
Yeah, as I said, last year it was one of the races of the season with all them in there. As I say, would you not be worried that that would take away from the Stayers Hurdle or not? Because obviously we don't often happen to get that many mares in races like the Stayers Hurdle anyway. So would that be your argument?
I mean, it could be, but I mean, you get that kind of debate going on all the time at Cheltenham now because you've got the Arkle, you've got the JLT, you've got the RSA, you've got the 4 miler, you've got all these different options now. So you're always going to have it, whatever division you look at Cheltenham these days.
Okay, finally, weekend eye catchers. Now, I've not done so much for Twitter Q&A today because we haven't got much time, but I've tried to answer most people's questions as we go along. And a lot of people asking about Next Destination, of course, who ran in the Champion Bumper last year and was so impressive the other day. Anyone else got him that they want to talk about, or in fact anyone else? Brendan, you first.
Yeah, Next Destination was brilliant, and he looks like a horse who wants further. So to be able to do it over that trip was very impressive. I had a couple at Newbury on Thursday. There was a novice hurdle, Clayman Taken Forgan, beat Lost in Translation. I think they could make up into 2 proper horses. Maybe the latter would be more of a chaser, but I think they're two really nice horses. And of course, Footpad yesterday, who was a high 150. Yeah, well, a high 150 horse over hurdles, and that was just an incredible debut. I mean, he was so light on his feet. He just cleared the fences at that perfect height that you usually see horses do after 3 or 4 runs. So he's a hugely exciting novice chaser.
Have we got any reaction, either Next Destination or Footpad winners for races at the festival at all? Footpad mightily impressive. Yeah,
Footpad. Willie Mullins said afterwards that he scored at home as good as any novice they've ever had. So that, you know, some statement that 7-1 favourite for the Arkle now. He was a lot bigger after the race, but the punters are coming for him. 7-1 clear favourite. And that Next Destination for the Ballymore Novices Hurdle is now 10-1 second favourite behind Sam Crow. So some top class action in Ireland last weekend.
Yeah, of course, lots of market movers. Really informative weekend. What's he finding anything for you, eye catcher wise? Yeah,
Red Jack would be one to mention. He won at the weekend. Very impressive horse in Noel Meads. And there's a meeting at Chepstow last week. There was a few eye catches in there. A few horses that could do very well. There's a finish to a novice hurdle won by Choose Your Weapon. I think cost 210 grand. I think he was the leading highest rated point-to-pointer in Ireland last season, maybe. He's with Evan Williams now. He won very nicely, and he just beat a horse that, in fairness,
I know him very well.
You put me onto him, so I did take a keen interest. Go With The Flow, who was trained by Ben Paulings. Those top 2 will go on in really good races this season, so look out for both of those.
Yep, I absolutely love those 2 horses, so well done for mentioning them. Thank you very much. I think that's about all we've got time for today. If you enjoyed listening to this, make sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, and join us again on Thursday for the Football Postcast, and of course, as usual, for Friday's Tipping Postcast as well. Thank you for joining us, and it's goodbye from us lot.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes 2nd, 3rd or 4th to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.